Hello everyone, it is time to find out, and I've never done this before, so you guys are going to learn at the same time I do. Will a B2630, which is a much older model, this is somewhere a little bit bigger than a B02, so it's not exactly a one-to-one with Kuboters that are sold right now, but it does have a 72-inch mower deck, and a lot of different units use a 72-inch mower deck. Will it fit in a 7-foot wide dump trailer? We're about to find out because I have never hauled this unit with my dump trailer. And I think it's an interesting little science experiment. Let's find out. This unit has, I think, about a 2,750 pound dry weight. Add in the loader. Usually they say they're about 700 to 800 pounds. The loader arms, the belly mower, and the bracketry. And I have a quick hitch on it. I'm kind of guessing it weighs like 3,500 pounds in total right now. I don't really know. I've never weighed it. We're going to find out. Put it in 4 just to be safe. I'm going to widen out the ramp super quick. I guessed, but I didn't guess quite right. All right, let's try this again. Oh, fits like a glove. Now, of course, 72 inches is 6 feet, but also keep in mind there's other things that hang off the side of the mower that isn't part of the cut width. So I think we are in. So even with this a little bit smaller unit, my L3902, there's still no way you're going to get the loader in here. The loader's got about 20 inches. We can look in a second. We do not have enough room back here to put a brush hog, that's for sure. You probably could put a tiller. I mean, you for sure can put a tiller, and probably even a flail mower. So if you want to haul one of these with a flail mower and put the loader in, you're good. Even your small ones, like even a BX with a real brush hog is just not going to fit with the loader inside of the unit. You could either take the loader off, or you could back it in backwards and put the loader hanging off the front or the back, or pull it forward and put the loader hanging off the front. That's a couple different ways you could skin the cat, but fits in there, I think, pretty darn good. And the mower is all the way up, and it didn't really scrape. It just the wheel just barely touched. So the breakover angle, this is a Diamond C, the low profile dump trailer, LPT, I think. It is really nice because the loading ramp angle is super easy to deal with. Anyone can load anything in here. You don't need to be a fancy operator. It is much safer than a higher sitting dump trailer. Huge difference. So I do have the air conditioning on, and I'm just going to gently get on it. I mean, we're probably talking like quarter throttle, maybe even less. I kind of figure, if I'm right, that it weighs about 3,000 pounds, and no, we're not in tow haul mode, because I was actually kind of curious what it felt like without it being in tow haul mode in terms of shift points. It does absolutely change its shift points from the normal quarter throttle because of the load. It's sensing that it's back there. So it's still doing, normal load mode is still, it's taking care of you. Like I said in my other video, these modern transmissions that are, they're much more complicated than like a 40100 or a 480 or something like that. They are definitely doing the job. So that would be like a gentle quarter throttle acceleration. I'll give it a little bit more just to tick her up to 55. And of course I could get it at more. I'm just being gentle because sometimes, I mean, anything you can flog it and floor it and go places. It's amazing what this engine will do without it being, flogged. It's fascinating too. I have never driven a cabin chassis, and they of course are derated. But like I said in many of my other videos, this engine really does the bulk of its work under 3,000 RPM. I mean, it's astounding the amount of torque that this engine produces. 7.3 gasser is obviously what I'm talking about. For those of you that are new, I'm sorry. It is astounding how smooth this is. I mean, I've towed with everything. The two engines that are relevant here that I haven't towed with are the 8.1, which I know is hilarious. I have two in my boat, but I've never driven a truck with an 8.1. And I've never driven a 6.2 Ford. I've driven literally every other HD variant I've either owned or driven, all the different HD truck variants at some point in my life. It is amazing what the 7.3 does so easily. And I hate to be that guy who's like, oh, you can't even feel it back there. I mean, because you can. This trailer weighs about 4,200 pounds empty, and then plus, if I'm right, that it's about 3,500 pounds of tractor, which, given the way the truck feels once you load the tractor in, I mean, yeah, you can feel it back there. So I'm kind of thinking we're just under 8,000 pounds. I think that comes out to like 7,700 pounds or something like that, something close. It's pretty incredible what it gets. Keep in mind, too, this is a 9.9 fuel tank. I literally, on this tank, towed this trailer up from the city. That's what a bulk of this driving is. There's almost no empty driving on this tank. So like I said, things that are windage heavy, 10-ish is kind of what you're going to get, or just under. A race car trailer, a little bit better. My 7-foot tall cube of a little white, I call it my camping trailer, but that thing is an absolute hog. But it is amazing what this engine will do on flat land. By no means would I ever try and convince people to buy a 7.3 over a 6.7. If you are mostly mountain driving, especially with a lot of weight, the exhaust brake alone is worth it from a safety perspective. Keep the heat out of your tires, the heat out of your brake lines. By that, keeping your brake fluid cool. It makes a big difference. And that's not to say you can't tow with 7.3 cross country. There's a lot of people do. A lot of people are commenting on my channel, mentioned that they have campers or something that they tow cross country regularly, or race car trailers or something like that. By no means do I think you can't do it. But by some means do I want to add the caveat in there. And that wasn't anything scary. There's a road work here. Rumble strips, that's why I'm slowing down. There's a caveat there of, I don't want to oversell. It's obviously going to pull the speed limit. It's going to work a lot harder than a diesel. You're not going to get the exhaust braking coming downhill. Diesels are really great for what they are. This is not a diesel hater channel by any means. As you probably can tell with the name of my channel, I had a 6.7 before this truck. And the goal was to upgrade to an F450 because I thought the 6.7 was a lot more engine than the truck that it was in. That opinion has not changed at all. I really like this truck. It is a really good do-everything truck. But like, for instance, right now, I'm squatting pretty hard the way this is set up right now. Yes, you can add bags. Yes, you can add Timberens. But it's not like a dually. And there's another level of stability that happens when you go to a dually from a single wheel. And that's the direction I wanted to go to better utilize the diesel's power. It does not seem like that's going to happen. It seems like there's some squirreliness. I don't know if you guys all caught the video. I've had a 450 ordered since 2023, and as it panned out that I didn't get selected in terms of I don't know if there was some squirreliness going on or whatever it is. My sales guy that I was using, that I bought like 4 different vehicles from, he no longer works there. So I don't know if he got removed for reasons of bad doings, or if it's just happenstance that he isn't with them anymore. I don't know the reason for it, and that's definitely a concern because I don't have my truck, and it doesn't sound like it's going to get built this year. And more importantly, I talked to a new sales guy who was supposed to take over his work, and he never I don't think has emailed me. So there may be some changes. I was specifically using that dealership and that sales guy because up until now I was very impressed with that situation. That might change. Probably won't get the 450 this year. And someone's going to say, well, why don't you just buy ones on the lot? I could. The thing is that they're very expensive, and I ordered an XL in race red, vinyl seats, rubber floors. Like, I ordered it the way I wanted it for a work truck, a very basic work truck. So I had that. I had it kind of the way I wanted it. I highly doubt I'm going to find another one. So, of course, 4-wheel drive. FX4, got to keep with that Great Lakes Power Stroke FX4, handle. So hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed the video a little bit. I'm trying to do a little bit more towing. I have already done 2 lawns today. I have family in the area that I take care of their properties too. So I am tired, and I'm going to go do my own lawn now because my zero turn, the tire failed internally. It was dry rotted internally. The metal wires are showing, and I tried to put a tube in it, and the metal wires popped the tube right away. So Thank you very much, China Made Tires. So my tire store is ordering me a different set of tires. They're not going to be the all-terrain tires that my Gravely Stealth Edition had on it, because they honestly sucked. They got stuck easier than normal turf tires because they dug. They look cool, but they're not very functional. They kind of had like a hole shot look. Like if you guys are into sport quads at all, hole shots, they're a tire pattern that work quite well on a four-wheeler. They don't work very well on the zero turn, as I found out. So I will get this one up there, and hopefully you guys enjoy a relatively quick towing video and a loading video, and I hope you guys all take care. And for those who have asked, I appreciate you so much asking how the fiance is doing. She is back in the hospital, and she's been there. This is going to be tomorrow's day 7. So and she's getting transferred to a new hospital. We're getting there. Hopefully we're going to get some positive things going on right now. It's a good thing that they didn't do anything at the hospital she's at, even though it's a very big, very name brand hospital. It doesn't appear that they have the expertise that she needs to have, and it's a darn good thing they didn't attempt to cut her open when they didn't have the right people there. So that I'm thankful for. So hopefully she's going to go to a more fancy pants hospital that has like a teaching hospital. And the reason why that's awesome is like students are, first of all, they're fresh learning, fresh materials, and they're also hungry to succeed and to think outside the box. And a lot of times like co-op students, when I was at Kettering, first of all, I have multiple patents in my name through the company because I was thinking outside the box. And many of my co-students also, wherever they worked, had multiple patents that they developed in, whether they had a year or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how long they stayed with one company. Young people are eager to prove themselves, and that usually results in excellent work. And I definitely trust, I like that. Definitely am all for that. So hopefully we have good things that come from that, and we'll go from there. So I will take a couple pictures so we have a good thumbnail, and you guys take care of yourself.